Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Chanadara, Shiva Sari Gora Mata. Let's go. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Sari Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. We're gonna go one by one. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasamsi Jinnani Yata Vihaya Navani Gnati Naro Parani Tata Sharirani Vihai Jinnani Anyani Samyati Navani Dehi. Translation: as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, similarly, the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Change of body by the atomic individual soul is an accepted fact. Even some of the modern scientists who do not believe in the existence of the soul, but at the same time cannot explain the source of energy from the heart, have to accept continuous changes of body which appear from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth and again from youth to old age. From old age the change is transferred to another body. This has already been explained in the previous verse. Transference of the atomic individual soul to another body is made possible by the grace of the Supersoul. The Supersoul fulfills the desire of the atomic soul as one prince fulfills the desire of another. The Vedas, like the Mundaka Upanishad as well as the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, compare the soul and the Supersoul to two friendly birds sitting on the same tree. One of the birds, the individual atomic soul, is eating the fruit of the tree, and the other bird, Krishna, is simply watching his friends. Of these two birds, although they are the same in quality, one is captivated by the fruits of the material tree, while the other is simply witnessing the activities of his friends. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, has opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So, welcome today in the Hare Krishna Center. Most of you probably heard of karma and reincarnation. So, our Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, has rendered a tremendous service to the human society because he has explained this ancient science of the Vedas for the Western world. See, this is not a religion, as I said before, or a faith. It is a science. When we speak of science, science is applicable to everyone. When we speak of religion or faith, even within the religious denominations, there are so many different opinions, so many different conflicts. The Protestants against the Catholics, the Lutherans, and this and that, the Muslims. There's so many different sects of Islam also. When we speak of science, that is one and for all. So there is a science of God, which is not confined to a particular religion or a sect. It is universal, and it applies to everyone. And it is called Atma Tattva. This Atma Tattva means the science of the soul. Science of the soul, imagine. So, what is it, science? Science is something that we can observe. There's a theory, and there's an observation, and there's the experiment. This is called science, right? So we can have the theory, just like you're hearing this Bhagavad-gita. So in the beginning, you might accept it as a theory. Many people come and they say, I respect your, theory, and it's wonderful, but it's not my thing. So this is called faith. Whatever we do, whatever idea we imagine, this is faith. For example, you don't know what is going on, where he went right now, Ramachandra, where he went. You don't know anything. But you have a faith that he's doing something nice. He's not coming, taking gun and coming to kill us all. Right? So everything in our life is based on faith. People say, I don't have any faith, I'm an atheist. That is also faith. Can you verify that there is no God? Have you seen every single speck of dust in the universe to verify, to have a valid proof that there is no God? No, you're limited. And you have 4 limitations. Every conditioned soul, every soul which is confined to this material tabernacle of reincarnation is pinched by 4 defects. He commits mistakes. He has imperfect senses. We don't see, what is going on behind this wall. We don't see so many things. People sometimes challenge, can you show me God? Unless I see Krishna, I will not believe. But what? You cannot even see your eyelid with your eye. The closest thing to your eye, you cannot see by the very eye. So how you want to see the supreme, personality, the supreme principle, the universal truth? How you want to see this? This is a foolish idea. So we have imperfect senses, and we tend to fall into illusion. Sometimes you get cheated. You think that someone is your good friend, and you surrender to him, you give your heart to him, and then it turns out to be the greatest enemy, the greatest rascal. You have the experience, right? Yeah. So this is because we tend to fall into illusion. Because we have imperfect senses, and because we make mistakes, we fall into illusion. And the 4th defect is that although we have been cheated so many times, we do not hesitate to also cheat. So we have a tendency to cheat ourselves, Have you read the Bhagavad-gita? Yeah, I read. Yeah. Have you read? Yeah, all the shlokas? Actually, no. Actually, I didn't read it at all. Many times people say like that. So with these defects, we cannot challenge the authority of the Bhagavad-gita or God. We cannot come and say, well, what's the proof? Well, I don't believe in this. You cannot even not believe in this. Because who are you? You are a very imperfect, tiny little speck of tiny living spark in the whole creation. How you want to challenge the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So, nevertheless, Krishna, when he comes, he explains the science of the soul scientifically. It is not based on faith. How is that? He says in the 13th verse of this same chapter, Deinasmin yatadi komanam yoganam jana tatadi antara prapti dhiras tatrana muhyati. As you had the body of a small child, at one point you had a different body, a small tiny little baby. Then you had the body of a teenager, youth. Now you have a grown-up body. Similarly, you will have another body at a time of death. You will be transferred to another body. How do we know this? By logic. By logic. The baby body is finished. It's gone. The baby body, the baby form you had. All the cells, all the material elements are gone. The baby eats, then he goes to the toilets. In this way, the body is completely recycled. This is why we grow. We don't actually grow. We're changing the body from the baby form to a grown-up form, to a youth form, to a grown-up, to an old man. But I, the observer of all these changes, I can observe in the mirror how my body has changed since I was a little baby. right? I didn't have beard, now I have to shave all the time. So my body is obviously different. It's a different form. But who is observing this? Who is observing this? I am not changing because I can observe it. I'm different from the change. Just like you're watching a movie. Nowadays, of course, there's a digital technology. But in the old system, there was a film strip. You put it in the projector, and it's projected onto the screen. So the movement actually is illusion. It's just a consequent projection of still images on the canvas. Right? But when you project it in fast motion, it appears as a movement, fluent movement. So in the same way, it appears that this is one body, but actually it is not. It's a series of bodies. I'll show you, there's a nice picture illustrating this particular point. Here, let me see. You see, so the movie is changing. These still photographs are being projected, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. So that is changing. But the viewer, there's someone who's watching the movie. The viewer is sitting still on a seat, and he doesn't move. So that is the spirit soul. That is who I am. I am the observer of the change. I am not this body, this gross body, just like we said before, the baby eats, and there's a stool, and so on, so on. The gross body consists of earth, water, fire, air, and ether, according to the Bhagavad-gita. 5 elements. But then there's also a subtle body, which we are also not. That's the mind, intelligence, and the false ego. Mind, you can observe your mind. Sometimes your mind is disturbed, you can't focus. You can observe it. Oh, now my mind is distracted. You can make the observation. Now my mind is kind of in unrest. And then when you come down, you don't get what you wanted. Most of the time, why the mind is agitated? Because you want something, right? I want. When you get it, the mind is pacified. So you can observe, oh, my mind is disturbed. That means that you're not the mind. That means you're different from the mind. You see? And sometimes the mind overpowers and you forget that you're not the mind. Sometimes you have a depression, and the mind is bringing the same idea over and over and over and over and over. Why did you do it? Oh, you're so foolish. Why did you say like that? You should have said this. And the mind is constantly torturing you. Oh, shut up, I want to do something. And again, the mind comes. Oh, you did this, you did that, come on. The mind is like a sponge. It takes the impact from the outside and then it keeps it inside and then it's torturing you see? So part of this Maha Mantra, why we chant over and over? Because we want to get free from these minds. We want to get free. We don't want to be subjugated by the minds. Sometimes people say, oh, why should I surrender to this Krishna and bow down? This is a dogma. I want to be free, I want to do whatever I want. But then you cannot, because you're not free from the influence of the mind. What are these biases? Just like I said before, don't be biased. Try not to be biased. What are these biases? These are the conditioning we have picked up through our education and growing up and friends and TV and culture and parents and so many things. We have picked this up. This is not who we are. So this is the mind. Then there's the intelligence. The yogis, those who are a little bit more advanced, they can control the mind. They can control the mind. When the mind is agitated, they can immediately subjugate it. No, the mind. Be silent. Listen. They can do this. This is yoga. This is a real yoga, not exercising the body, with a disco and this and that and doing this. This is a farce. If you want to understand the real yoga, we have to come to the original scripture. Just like you want to learn law or medicine, you go to an authorized institution to learn these sciences, right? You don't just go to anyone. Oh, I'm going to teach you law. I just make up my own way how to practice law. No, you want to know the real thing. So similarly, if you want to know about yoga and meditation, karma and reincarnation, what could be the better source than the Vedas themselves? This is where all the yogis and swamis and all the teachers in the world are getting their information from. This is where it's all coming from. Karma, reincarnation, yoga, and so on and so on. So our spiritual master has very kindly translated these 80 volumes of these ancient Vedic literatures. Bhagavad-gita is the most essential. From the ancient Sanskrit language. This is called Sanskrit. And he has given his commentaries. One of them we're reading. Krishna in this particular verse says that the body is like a dress. You're changing the different dress. Today you might have a black t-shirt or a gray t-shirt. Tomorrow you might have a red t-shirt and so on. So, but you're not a red t-shirt. If Allison comes and I say, "Hi, red t-shirt," then I'm a fool, right? Allison is different from the t-shirt. Another analogy is the body is like a car. Just because you drive a Toyota, a Japanese car, doesn't make you a Japanese. Right? Just because you enter the Japanese car, you're not a Japanese all of a sudden. And if you take the car Ford, you're not American, right? You just borrow the car for the time being, so your purpose is served, and then you leave the car, you go on with your duty. So similarly, the soul accepts a woman body, a man's body, a black body, white body, yellow body, Chinese body, Canadian body, so many different varieties of bodies, and it goes even to the lower species. If we're not careful, we can also descend to the lower species, the animals, the insects, even the plants, the trees. So this is the signs of the soul. How do we know for sure that this is going on? By logic. I have changed the body from a baby to a grown-up person. The baby body is gone. It's dead. It's dead because the cells from the baby body has left me. Just like when a person dies, right? All these cells, they travel. The worms eat it, and then they pass stool, and that is always going on. It's not lost. The energy of the body is never lost. But the active principle, the spirit soul, which is animating that body, that is somewhere else. And it takes another body. Why would that consciousness, why would that sense of identity, which is beyond the mind, beyond the intelligence, beyond the false ego, the sense of identity, who I am, I'm American, I'm Canadian, I'm this and that, I'm very successful, and this and that. This is false ego. That is also not us. Why would that pure consciousness be finished at this point? It did not finish by changing the baby body to a grown-up body. The consciousness is not lost. You're not lost. You're still here. Right? Although your baby body is dead. It is dead. It is finished. The same thing as the old body is deteriorating and the cells are traveling. The energy is preserved but somewhere else in a different form. In the same way, the baby cells are somewhere else in some other form. But I am still here. I am not dead by the death of the baby body. I'm not dead. Whatever is going on with the body does not influence the consciousness. There's no influence over the consciousness. The consciousness will go on. It will go on, just like it goes on. From this body to this body, this body. It has nothing to do with the body. It just takes the dress of the body. But then, when this body is finished, then the final change comes and you take another body. You see? Who can deny this? Who can say? The scientists, they say, no, this is religion. This is faith. The consciousness is made from chemicals. If you eat, if you do this, if you get air, if you get nice treatment of the body, then you live. If you forget to eat and so you die. It's as simple as that. Well, if it is like that, if the consciousness is simply some reaction of the chemicals in the body, then why don't you make that old man alive again? Just give him some food to eat and make him alive again. Can you do that? Mr. Scientists, they have to give, they have a theory. They must observe, and they must also make an experiment. So have they proven that life is coming from chemicals? Have they proven it? Can they make a single blade of grass, or to speak of a human, can they make a blade of grass live again? No. As soon as it leaves, it starts to deteriorate, they cannot refresh the life in it. Why? Because there is a spirit soul in everything around us, even in a flower. And there are symptoms of the spirit soul present in the body according to the Bhagavad-gita. What are these symptoms by which we can see, not believe, but see? Birth, growth, craving byproducts, staying for some time, dwindling, getting old, and death. Nothing material can manifest these symptoms. Just like that can, right? It will never grow into a bigger can. It will never have little cans, right? It will never have byproducts, children. It will never die. Let's say something is missing, it starts to rot or whatever. You can replace the elements, the material elements, and you can keep that form like this forever. You can keep on existing like this. When the old material deteriorates, you replace it and you keep that shape forever. You can do it. But can you do it with a blade of grass? Can you do it with a human, with an animal? No, you can't. Because the life, that which is beautiful in the body, is the spirit soul. The spirit soul. See, and when the spirit soul leaves the body is useless. So this is the purpose of human form of life. That we should understand this. We should understand, yes, the body is important. Eating is important. Sleeping is important. Sex life is important. It's also a need of the body to have sex life. But it is not all in all. This is a great loss. In our society, we think it's all in all. Get a job, get a wife, get a family, and then you just spend and eat and sleep like an animal. The animals, they also do this. They might enjoy in a more primitive way. You know, a dog is enjoying the she-dog on the streets. It's a not very nice sight. So you hide, in an apartment, you make a nice dinner with candles and so on, in a nice hotel with roses and like that. But the activity is the same. It's the same sex life. There's no different. So if you think, this is the civilization, and I have sex life in a very sophisticated way, then you're just a more sophisticated animal. That's all. But this is not what the Bhagavad-gita says. You have something plus. In human form, you have something extra. And that is the sense of questioning. You can question yourself. The animals, they cannot question themselves. They cannot doubt their desires. They just go. The instincts are pushing. Go, do it. Like a dog comes, He has no control. He cannot restrain. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the Bhagavad-gita class. Okay, alright. And he says like a yogi. No, dog will never be able to do it. He's pushed by the instincts. So if we're not able to control and question what we do, then we're not better than the animals. And then the human form is not meant for us. We're not taking advantage of the human form. So you have $1 million on your bank account, and you never spent the $1 million. Then you lose it, right? What is the use? It's a useless to keep the $1 million in your bank if you can't use it. So in a human form, we have something more valuable than $1 million, and that is the idea of how to question. What am I doing here? What is the purpose of life? Yes, I will eat, I will sleep, I have so much nice sex life, but ultimately, I have to die. I have to die. What is the use of this? What is the meaning of life? Right, I build up this, I experience this, I get so many experiences, I live so nicely and try so many different things, but ultimately, I cannot keep any of these experiences. Right? At the time of death, I forget everything. And I'm pushed into another body. You see, just like a dog. A dog, because he thinks I'm a dog. I have a dog's body, his body. He thinks I'm a dog. So he acts according, he forgets everything about his previous life. He might have been a human before, but he forget everything. Sometimes people say, if there's reincarnation, how come I don't remember my previous life? But do you remember when you were a small child? You remember everything? You remember your birth? No, everything is finished. Why? Because change of the body means forgetfulness. The more we identify with the body, the more we forget. You see? The more we forget. So this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra revives this eternal consciousness. It revives. If you simply chant, it puts you immediately on the spiritual platform. But we're so much attached to the body that it appears foreign to us. So a little determination is required. See, a little vow A little struggle is required. It's not a button system. See, we're used in material worlds that everything comes cheaply. I pay money, I get drugs, I get high, everything is automatic, right? Every time you do it, every time it works. But with Krishna, it doesn't work like that. You have to prove yourself to Krishna that yes, I'm fried with this material existence. I've tasted this pleasure again and again and again. It doesn't satisfy me. If the material enjoyment is satisfying, why you have to change all the time the situation? Why you just can't sit peacefully? You have to run away somewhere. Again, try something else. And then whatever you try, that will also not satisfy you. That also you have to switch. See, satisfaction means you taste it and that's it. You satisfy forever. Satisfaction doesn't mean that you taste it and still you're dissatisfied. You need to change. You need to change. You need to change. So everyone is spending money in this way because they're not satisfied. They buy something and then buy something else. It goes on and on and on and on. But when you take this Hare Krishna chanting seriously, if you just put your mind into it, yes, okay, let me try. These guys have some good points. Okay, let me take up the practice. One thing is theory, but if you practice also, then you will feel. Sometimes you know this is not good for me. I still do it. The senses are pushing so strongly. Even I know it's not good for me. I still do it. Sometimes people eat, although they know it's not good for health. They still eat and they become fatty and so on and so on. See, so theory will not suffice. You have to practically apply yourself. Prabhupada, our spiritual master, says you have to take up professional spiritual life. He says like that. You have to take up professional spiritual life. So this is professional spiritual life. Chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Whatever you are, go on, chant this 24 hours. We waste so much time doing nonsense, things which are not even materially beneficial. Wasting so much time, discussing nonsense, things, which simply agitate our minds more and more. Talking behind our back. Saying something, doing some politics and this and that. So why not chant instead? Why not work on my self-realization? It's so easy. And so many people have derived so much benefit from this Maha Mantra. So much benefit. If you take it seriously, I promise you that you will feel so happy that you will forget even such a wonderful pleasure as sex. You will forget that pleasure. It is so nice. The sex life will seem insignificant, that pleasure. It is pleasure. It is the highest pleasure in the material world. But if you take this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra chanting seriously, then you will experience such an ecstasy that even sex life will seem insignificant. So why not take it up? I might say you might believe it, you might not believe it, but try it out. Try it out. So I'll stop here. If there are any questions, please ask.
Well, if I understand right, you believe that the soul moves on to another body, and that our bodies are ever changing, and our bodies die and renew itself at the same time.
You had the body of a small boy.
Yeah.
Is it a belief or is it a fact?
It's a fact.
So then why you say
it's a science?
Yes.
Okay, is there a point to any of that? Being reincarnated and having to do it all over again, having to repeat this process? Is there a point at all?
Is there a point? Is there a meaning?
Is there a point to life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? What's the point?
You know why?
Wait.
Everything.
Wait. There is a point. I was explaining. The point is to realize that I'm not the body. See, right now, everything.
Okay, I realize that, but what's the point of that?
No. What is the proof that you realize? What is the proof that you realize?
Never mind.
Within the body.
She asked me the
there's a
same
soul.
question.
I'm sorry.
Within
And
this
None
body.
of it makes sense.
I
I'm
said-
sorry.
Within this body, there's a soul.
No, wait.
Really?
Wait.
Okay, but what's the point of having the soul?
Excuse me. The discussion, we can't just, jump in here and there. You ask a question, let's pursue it. It's a good question. To realize that you're not the body means that you become free from attachment to material pleasures. You see, this is the symptom of someone who realizes. If you're still enjoying on the material plane, enjoying the senses without any discrimination, then how you have understood that you are not the body? You follow what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay. So this, it's nothing to do with you or anyone. It's a universal principle. Someone who is realized, his material pleasures diminish.
Right. Okay.
You see?
So.
Because he understands there's a higher pleasure. He's not.
But what's the point of that?
Well, what's the point of pleasure? So we can be happy.
But why?
There's no why. This is the nature of everyone. You want to suffer, or you want to be happy?
I want to be happy, but
so
if there's no reason for it, then I don't know.
No reason for what?
For just living, having emotions.
No, but what I'm saying,
emotions
what I'm saying is that, can you explain why you want to be happy? There's no answer to it.
Because I'm a living being and we're programmed to want to be happy, right? We're programmed to want to live. No, we're programmed to want to live.
No, you're not programmed.
Yes, you are. If you want to kill yourself, that is a mental illness. That is considered a wrong thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're meant
logically.
As humans, we're meant to want to live and seek happiness.
Yes. So can you say why? Why we
There's
program?
No point. There's no.
That's what I'm saying. There's no answer to this. It's just our nature. We want to be happy.
Yeah.
But
that makes no sense.
What?
It's
What doesn't make sense?
Living.
No.
Makes no sense.
No, you just said that.
Why?
What do you mean why?
He just said that it's in our nature, and you said that it makes no sense. Nature is natural.
It makes sense for it to be in our nature because we're here. But why are we here?
Okay, that's a good question. Now, okay, let's come back. You agree that we want to be happy. This is, we don't have to ask why, it's just how it is. We want to be happy.
Yeah.
Now we have two types of happiness. One is the illusory happiness. Just like, for example, I put everything you ever wanted in this room, and you can enjoy it as much as you want. But after 1 hour, I come and I kill you. Would you enjoy it? No.
I don't.
No, you wouldn't. You will be anxiety. Oh, well, after 1 hour I'm going to be dead. What's the point of this enjoyment? This is called material pleasure, relative pleasure. But then you have a pleasure where I don't come and kill you. You can enjoy forever and ever. So which one is better?
I don't know. I'm going to go with the second one, I guess.
With the second one?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Now why? Again, you can't say it's the nature. We want pleasure, but we also want eternity. We want eternity.
Yeah.
No one wants to die.
Right.
Another.
And reincarnation is the one way
But
of
why?
seeing it as an eternity.
Why are we here? It still
we
doesn't
have no
answer.
recollection.
There's no reason for it.
Okay,
That's the reason. The reason for being here is no reason. Right?
Wait. It's a little complicated.
Is God actually nothing?
I tried to explain to her.
Listen. It's not so easy that I can just. If you want to understand, you have to little hear.
There's no understanding. It's just there's no point to anything.
Now that is also a point. That is also an explanation. If you say there's no point, that is a point.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been saying. That's what I said yesterday.
Yeah, you can't avoid it.
Maybe no point is a point. That's what I said.
Yeah, you can't avoid it because that's the third point. We have eternity. We want eternity. We want to be eternal. We want pleasure, and we want knowledge. You want knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, you want knowledge.
Well, some people want knowledge.
Everyone.
I'm joking.
Everyone wants knowledge. Everyone is like he's checking the iPhone because he wants to know something.
Yeah,
something.
Exactly.
It might not be very elevated knowledge, but everyone is curious to know something new. So this is, in Sanskrit, this is called Sat Chit Ananda. And this is the nature of the soul. Eternal, full of knowledge, and blissful, happy. Now, in this world, all these are not fulfilled. The eternity, forget it, you're going to die. Happiness, you can enjoy for a little while, then you become bored, as I said before. And then the third one, knowledge. Ultimately we know nothing, right? Mm-hmm. When death comes, you don't know how to liberate yourself. So we should find out, this is the aim of life, how to fulfill all these three aspects of the soul. This is the aim of life. Now, whether you accept the Bhagavad-gita or something else, the first point is that are you ready to search for this answer or not? Most of the people, they're satisfied. They're not willing to face this. They say, oh yeah, it's just some kind of a fairy tale and I'm not going to deal with it right now. I'm just going to go on and not question reality. But if you're sincere, that you will be anxious. You'll be anxious. You'll come to the point where you sacrifice something of your pleasures just so you can find the answer. See, any person, someone who wants knowledge, just like a student at college, he also sacrifices his time. He doesn't go to a party. He has to study. For everything, you need to do a sacrifice. You can't expect something, everything comes out of heaven and instant enlightenment. This is nonsense. You have to have a desire, first of all. You have to be willing to make a sacrifice, and you have to study. Like that. So the Bhagavad-gita has the answer to all these questions, and it gives a process of how you can revive these three aspects of the soul. But you have to be, first of all, willing to take to hear. You have to hear it out.
Yeah.
You can't just have all the questions right away answered. It takes some time. It's a science. It's not a belief.
Okay.
I can cheat you. I can tell you something cheap. I can cheat you. You can have that, but you will not be enlightened yourself. You'll be for the time being cheated, and then you're gonna realize this doesn't make any sense. So better that we sit down and we discuss thoroughly. Any challenge you have, any challenge, anyone can come. There are actually people, a professor of from McGill University. He also comes here. He also challenges, and we also speak with him. Anyone can come here. We're ready to answer all the questions. But there's one thing required, and that is one has to be respectful, and he must be receptive. Then we can have the answers. But if someone comes and he challenges, oh, what's the proof? And now you show me immediately. No. We're not dogs. We're not dogs. That someone comes and, can you show me this? Can you do If you don't do it, then I go away. No. It doesn't work like that. Alright?
Alright.
The meaning of life. The hardest question known to man.
If you want to have happiness, you have to work towards it.
Yeah. Make sacrifices and...
But that doesn't matter.
Well, I said, when she asked me that question, I said that the meaning of life was to basically
Your answer didn't make any sense.
Yeah, mine was
the meaning of life is to reproduce.
Is
okay,
to make more life.
But what's the point of that life? What?
More life?
Your answer.
More life.
But you not create. Sorry.
Sorry.
You want to say?
No, I'm just saying his answer makes no sense because it's not an actual answer.
Yeah, you don't make life. See, you don't make life.
You recreate?
No, you don't make life. You can make the body. Okay? You
Yeah.
give the body, but unless there's a spirit soul coming into that body, the body will not live.
Yeah.
See, so the man gives the seed, the mother gives the how do you call it? The ovum, and when the spirit soul enters, then the child develops. You see, but for example, me and Ramachandra were celibate. We are.
You refrain from.
We're not reproducing. You see, are we losing our aim of life? I would say quite the opposite.
Yeah.
The aim of life is not to reproduce. The aim of life is to understand who I am, first of all. I am eternal. I am spirit soul. And also my children, they're also spirit souls. They are also eternal. They just temporarily take up this bodily form.
Yeah.
But again, they might go somewhere else. And they might have a different father, different mother. Just like we had in our previous life with so many different families.
The reason why I said it is because every life on earth as we know it had to be made from a seed or some sort of reproduction from something before it.
Mhm.
So the way I said it might be short and not very elaborate, but I still believe that without this this sort of without the notion that there is no life without reproduction, and henceforth the aim.
No, but why? Why?
Is this what she said too? Why?
Yeah.
But like,
You're not giving a real answer.
no, it's just that without it there is no life.
Why? I disagree. Well, I just
Without the reproductive cycle of life scientifically as we know it, there is.
What is life?
To our knowledge.
What is life?
To my knowledge.
What is
there's
life? Because according to the Bhagavad-gita, life is not the body. Life
It's
is
just
the consciousness.
It's the consciousness.
And consciousness is not produced by sex life.
No. It
not
is.
produced.
It is.
It's eternal. It is eternal.
Yeah.
Consciousness is eternal.
Yeah.
So that which is eternal doesn't have any beginning. The body might have a beginning, but your consciousness,
Yeah.
your soul, doesn't have any beginning. So it is the consciousness which makes the body living. Body without consciousness is dead. So the mother and the father, they might give, the body, but the life is, they're not giving the life.
No.
The life is coming from the soul. The soul takes shelter. Actually, this is also explained in the Vedas. The soul takes shelter of the sperm of the father. It's already in the sperm, and the father injects the sperm in the mother, and the mother gives the body, and then the child develops. But sometimes there's sex life, but there's no conception, right? So if it was
I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about conception. Is what we are pretty much
so
meant to do.
Now the question is life coming from the combination of these chemicals, or is it of transcendental nature? We say it's of transcendental nature. The soul takes shelter of that situation, and that's where you can have a
it
child.
is out of our power if we conceive or not, or
It's out of our power, yes.
okay, so it's out of our power.
Yes. Otherwise, there will be conception each time since they have sex life, which is not the case. Sometimes there is no conception. That means it's beyond your control.
Okay.
You cannot control it. Only when Krishna agrees that now you take shelter of this situation, then there is conception. Yeah.
What if everyone just decided to stop reproducing? Every person on planet Earth, what would happen?
There would.
What happens? What would happen if
There's
we
so
just-
many. There's so many different planets.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
just
so what would
we're
happen
not-
if we decided to nuke all of Earth? What would happen
That's
then?
a sad reality.
What would happen if we just blew up the whole planet?
You take
I
birth
finished
in another
this
planet.
Really?
Yes, in other planets. There's so many different planets. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
Okay, what if we-
consciousness.
oh my god.
Sorry, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the last appearance of Krishna, he says that this universe, not just this planet, this universe is just like a mustard seed in a bag full of mustard seeds. Have you seen a mustard seed before?
Small.
Mustard, tiny little.
Yeah.
So imagine a bag of mustard seeds. This is, our universe is one of them.
Yeah, I get that.
You see?
Yeah,
So
I'm
even
aware of that.
if you nuke this planet, nothing's gonna happen. You're just gonna go. All these souls, they're gonna take shelter
But
on
why?
another
I
planet.
want to know why. Why?
Well, why? Okay, it's a very good question. Because we want to forget Krishna.
But why?
Because we're free. We're freedom to forget Krishna. See, Krishna is.
But why was Krishna here in the first place?
No, Krishna is
Okay,
eternal.
why does Krishna exist?
So,
Why?
Isn't his existence as pointless as ours?
No, it's not pointless. It's full of meaning.
What meaning?
Krishna is the reservoir of pleasure. Just like we said before,
Okay.
pleasure, you don't question pleasure. It just is. We want pleasure. It's our
Because
nature.
we're here, but why are
Because
we here?
it's our nature to have pleasure. So
Yeah.
Krishna is the source of all pleasure. Okay? Now the pleasure, how it works with Krishna. If you water the root of a tree, automatically all the branches are nourished. Okay? Now if you try to water separately the branches, at least what's going to happen? Without watering the root, the tree will dry out.
Yeah.
Okay? So Krishna is like the roots. If we serve Krishna, if we love Krishna, then all of us are happy. Right? But not everyone wants to serve Krishna. Everyone wants to serve himself, his senses, his body, and so on and so on. So we're all watering the branches. The pleasure stays on the surface. It doesn't go inside of the soul. That's why we're never satisfied. That pleasure is illusory. But Krishna gives us that independence that you can do like that. If you want to be yourself, the supreme enjoyer, God, He gives us that option. Because otherwise, we'll be dead stone. If He didn't give us that freedom, that independence, then you'll be like a dead stone. What makes you a living consciousness is that you have a free will, free choice. If you want, you can kill yourself. Krishna gives you that option, you can do it. But you can also love Krishna. That also you can do it. You know, that is for our benefit. You know, it's natural for us to love Krishna. Just like you water the root of a tree. It's natural. So this is, until we understand this, we have to go on enjoying on the material plane as much as we want.
Drawing from the pool of happiness.
This is the answer we give. What is the game of life while we're here? What do you say?
It's not an answer.
What is it?
There's no answer. There's no answer as to why we're here. There's no
Why
answer.
there's no answer?
There's just no answer. There's no logical explanation.
Well, this is a very logical explanation.
No.
Well, you have to say why, no. You can't just say no.
No, it's okay, actually. I'd rather just like...
No, you said so. No.
This would go on forever. This would like go on
Yes,
for all
that's why we're
eternity.
here.
And it makes no sense, so I'd rather
Well, it
just
does
stop
not,
there.
does not make sense to you. It makes sense to him, to her. So you say why does it make sense to you, and I will explain more.
Yo, that makes
If you want to understand, then you should be ready to listen. If you say no, it doesn't make sense, and I don't want to hear
But I
anything.
listened to what you said.
Yes.
And it makes no sense.
Oh, so you say why not?
No, it's okay. I just want to end this conversation now. I just want to end this conversation. Like really.
Well, then you're not serious.
I always talk about like the purpose of life, and it's kind of like getting old. I'd rather just live my life now. So yeah.
Oh, but then it's contradictory. One sense,
No,
you want to know the answer.
I changed my
if
mind.
I give
I
the
don't
answer,
want the answer because there is no answer. That's
Yes, there is answer.
You know, you're just not happy with it.
you don't want to accept
because it
it.
makes no sense.
Yes.
No,
But you don't. Or if you say it doesn't make sense, you have to say why it doesn't make sense.
No, it's okay.
Well,
I'd rather not.
then that is an insult.
No, how is that an insult?
Well, if I say you're stupid and ugly and I hate you, is that a very nice thing?
No.
But if you say why, and I say because I don't like to hear this, and at least I have some reasoning. But if I just say you ugly, that's an insult.
Yeah, that's fine.
So if you say your
You can say what you
philosophy
want.
doesn't make any sense, and if I say why not, you refuse to say why not,
That's
that
okay.
is an insult.
So
Why are you coming here to insult my teacher? Everyone's here, accepts him as
No. She doesn't come insult, but I'm just explaining.
You, teacher.
No, it's okay. But I'm just explaining, you know. If you say something, then you back it up. Just like we're backing everything up. Whatever I say, I can back it up. So we demand that if you want to discuss, then we should discuss on the same platform. Not that simply you say something and you have no reasoning, and I have to say something and back up everything. Okay?
Can we just end this conversation? I kind of
About the
regret.
meaning of life?
I regret asking that.
About the
I
meaning of
really
life?
regret.
Regret
Well-
that it will come to you, okay?
The same way you asked
Okay,
me the
listen.
question,
Can I
I
say
tried
this
to
to you?
answer
You
you.
tried to answer, but you didn't
It's
give
already
a
seven.
real answer. Okay,
I-
it's a little late.
Okay, is it okay? Is that right?
Yeah, it's
We can
fine.
finish?
It's great.
Alright.
Everything's great. My name is Allison.
Alison, my name is Betsy.
Grantara Shrimad Bhagavad-gita
Bhagavad
ki
Gita
jai.
ki
Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna